Hey, family. One of the number one forms that I am asked how to fill out by business owners, new and seasoned, is the W-9 form. So, in today's video, I'm going to walk you through how to fill out a W-9 if you are an independent contractor filing as an individual, which is also known as a sole proprietor, or a single member LLC. Now, you may be thinking, but I have an LLC, that's different. Keep in mind that the IRS does not recognize a single member LLC as a tax entity. All right. So if you're a single member LLC for IRS purposes, you are still a sole proprietor. That is only an entity recognized on the state level. All right. So, first things first, what in the world is a W 9? All right. A W-9 is what you should be giving your vendors that you pay cash, whether that be a debit card payment, if you were writing a check, if you're PayPal. No, not PayPal. I'm sorry. Let's go back. Cash, check, debit card, all right? Coming directly from your bank account. You need to issue a W-9 if you are an independent contractor, single member LLC, sole proprietor. Businesses should be requesting that you fill out a W-9. This form is a request for taxpayer identification number and certification. This is what is used to get the information to fill out your 1099. So if you're an independent contractor, you receive 1099 NECs at the end of the year. And if you are a business owner who works with contractors and small businesses, you should be issuing either 1099 NECs or 1099 miscellaneous forms at the end of the year. Have you ever gotten to January 31st and been like, oh, shoot, I don't have their social security number. I don't have their address. That's because when you hire a contractor, you need to make sure that in addition to getting their direct deposit information, if you do that or if you pay with check, whatever, you need to have a W-9 on file. All right. Because if you pay them $600 or more, the IRS is expecting you to issue that 1099. And, excuse me, the reverse side of that, if you are paid more than $600, you should be anticipating a 1099 from whoever you worked with. IRS uses this to track the income of self-employed individuals. All right. So, if you work for an employer, they have the W-4 that tells them how much to withhold, and then they report to you and the IRS everything that you earned on your W-2. Works the same way, except usually this business is not going to withhold taxes for you because you are a business owner, you're self-employed. So let's get into this. All right. In addition to getting a 1099 NEC, which is non-employee compensation, or miscellaneous, these are also sent out if you've been paid interest. All right. These are also sent out if you receive dividends. The company or your broker may ask you to fill out a W-9. If you use a third-party network transaction system, so maybe you use Square, PayPal, or whatever, they'll ask you to fill out one of these so they can send you a 1099-K. Or if you have canceled debt. So let's look at how you fill this out if you are a sole proprietor. Now, I always recommend that independent contractors, sole proprietors do get an EIN number. You can get this for free from the IRS website. Okay. Do not pay somebody to get an EIN number or EIN number. Get an EIN, which is an employer identification number for you. You can go directly onto the IRS website and get that for free. The number will generate, a PDF will populate. You download that, you can have it mailed to you. All right. The reason being, you don't want your social security number all over the place. But let's start in the very beginning. We're going to have the name here, and this taxpayer's name is Victor Baxter. All right. Now, because he's a sole proprietor, he's going to want to put his name as it's shown on the tax return. All right. Now, Victor doesn't work under his name, the name of his business is actually the Chill Grill. So let me put the in here. So we have the Chill Grill as the business name. So when the 1099 is actually filled out, it shouldn't say Victor Baxter, it should say the Chill Grill. Line 3, we're going to check the appropriate box for federal tax classification of the person whose name is entered on line 1. Check only one of the following 7 boxes. Remember, I said in this example, we're looking at an individual, sole proprietor, or a single member LLC. All right. In the eyes of the IRS, all 3 of those are the same thing. He's not a C corporation, so an example of that would be Walmart. Here, we have an S corporation, which is crazy. I actually just read where an attorney said S stands for small. That is actually not what the S there stands for. If you know what the S in S Corp stands for, let me know down in the comments. It'll be 1,000 bonus your awesome points for you, okay? But it is definitely not small. T or T, sorry. Next box partnership is when you have 2 business owners or more in a business, it defaults to a partnership, and we have a trust or a estate. Then we have a limited liability company. Again, these are all tax classifications. When we go over here, we have different exemption codes. Now, this applies to like people outside of the United States. I am not going to go over that in this video just because we don't have enough time for me to actually go through what all of that means. So if you do have a factor reporting like requirement, outside of the United States, let me know. I don't mind doing another video. I just know I've already started talking a lot in this one, so I'll skip down to 5. Here we have the address of the Chill Grill, which is 1413 Hill Street. San Francisco, California, 94133. Also down in the comments, if you know who Victor Baxter is, other than the owner of the Chill Grill, let me know that in the comments too. It's been pretty interesting with this W4 series that I just did a few weeks ago to see who's really paying attention and who knows these people that I've been using for the forums. All right, so part 1, tax identification number. One of the biggest questions I get right here from sole proprietors is, what number should I put here? If you are listening and following along, if you have an EIN number connected with the business, put your EIN number here. And you see right here, it says or. If you don't have an EIN, don't feel bad. You can put in your social. It's just my personal recommendation that you go get an EIN number and you put that in there instead of your social security number. Because why does one extra person need access to your social security number, right? Once we go down with the certification, this is so important with tax documents. You want to make sure that you are actually reading what you're signing, right? Because right here under penalties of perjury, you are certifying that everything on here is correct. You're also certifying that you are not subject to backup withholding. Okay. This is so important because, as I mentioned before, when you're working with other businesses, they typically are not going to be withholding taxes for you if you are self employed. But we do have situations where taxpayers owe the IRS and they're going to follow them wherever they go, make sure they get their money, and they are subject to backup withholding. All right. Number 3, I'm a US citizen or other person, which is defined below. And the FATCA codes entered on this form, if any, indicating that I'm exempt from FATCA reporting are correct. Now, if you don't have a social security number, you can put your TIN, TIN, tax identification number. That number will go up here. All right. This form is not considered complete until you have signed this with your John Hancock there, or in this example, it would be your Victor Baxter, and date it. Now, this form does not go into the IRS. This form is going to stay on file with the requester. So let's say that you are working with me. And I am super sorry for the late apology because I just realized I didn't even let you know who I am if you're new to me. My name is Timalyn Bowens, and I'm America's favorite EA, but I'm also the owner of Bowens Tax Solutions, which is a virtual firm based in Louisville, Kentucky, and we specialize in stepping into the shoes of taxpayers that owe the IRS, primarily first generation business owners that owe 100K and can't pay today. All right. So that's why I'm doing this video for you all today. We want to make sure you have all your I's dotted, T's crossed, and filling out a W-9 form is one of the first steps, one of the first things you'll do when you get a new client that want to have this on file. All right. So don't look at them like they're crazy because they're asking for your social security number or your EIN. The whole reason is because they have a 1099 reporting requirement if they pay you over $600 cash. Okay. So you want to make sure that it is complete, has all of the correct details, your most up-to-date address, because this is not only going to be mailed to you, it's also going to the IRS. And if you underreport your income, the IRS will blow up your mailbox. Maybe you're in a situation like that right now. Okay. You have the IRS blowing up your mailbox. You have some tax debt that you can't pay today. I want to invite you to book a call with me over at Bowens Tax Solutions. All right. We are going to look at your financial situation to see what kind of arrangement you can set up with the IRS. But before we do that, we're just going to get to know each other a bit to see if we're even a good fit to work with each other. Now, if you're on the fence about that, let me give you another invitation. I have a podcast called Tax Relief with Timalyn Bowens. And on that podcast, not only do I cover back tax issues, I also cover preventative care. So I talk to you about self-employment tax, estimated tax payments, everything I can talk about to help you avoid owing the IRS and having a bill that you can't pay today. Because guess what, folks? Back taxes shouldn't ruin your life. So not only do we want to fill this out right, we want to make sure we have estimated tax payments and the whole caboodle. So if you found this video helpful, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you all next time.